1813 Fair Warning. I'm Kevin Steele, joined with Todd Hickman with Asset Growth Associates. Look, Todd, you know your way around money better than most. And we're looking at 6.6 million jobless claims in the last week, 10 million over the last 2 weeks.
Are we supposed to be surprised?
Yeah.
I'm serious. Are we supposed to be
It's a
surprised?
lot.
The government says everybody stay home.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be surprised by that number? I don't think so.
Well, and where does it go from here? The street obviously is not responding well. The market down on this Friday, 350 points. Economically speaking, do we have any precedent really for what kind of waters we're in economically?
No. Historically, we've never been in a situation where the government says everybody stay home.
Yeah.
And we are essentially sticking a dagger or attempting to stick a dagger into the heart of the economy to protect the most vulnerable segment of our population, which are the elderly and those with pre-existing conditions.
Incredible.
Because they are who is at most risk
Yeah.
in this coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak.
Yeah.
And if you turn in every day and watch the news, you're not getting out of bed, you're pulling the covers over your head, and you're sending out other people to go get your stuff for you because you're terrified to be around other people.
Yeah.
And I think at some point, when this is all said and done, the American people are going to look at the final statistics and ask, did we really need to spend the trillions and trillions of dollars that are being spent now?
Yeah.
When we see the final outcome, I just see it going that way.
You also have a very clear vision of political landscapes. Why did this happen? Was the president just that afraid at that moment?
Look, President Trump he's actually in a corner. They've come at him with everything. And if you go back to the H1N1 scare, swine flu, SARS, Obama dealt with those things differently. He came to the party much later. There were already 1,000 deaths with the swine flu outbreak when he finally declared an emergency.
I don't know anybody that's had the swine flu. Do you?
My wife and I both have it.
Yeah, I know. I'm playing you a little.
Well, see, that's the whole point. I think like 60 million people had it. And the entire premise that all of a sudden we're going to stop everything and we're going to blame the federal government because none of the states were prepared, even though back in 2015, the state of New York, one of the hardest hit states in regards to coronavirus outbreak, they were told in 2015 that they did not have enough ventilators. And they chose to spend money on solar panel projects.
Wow.
Instead of doing the things that they're supposed to do. And now Andrew Cuomo has his finger out. He's pointing at the federal government. How could you do this to us? Well, the question is, how could you do that to yourself? How could you do that to the people that voted you into office?
Well, the economic advisors must have been whispering in President Trump's ear that this was doomsday economically.
Well, it is. I mean, have you ever seen a $2 trillion plus bailout package with a potential another 4 plus in lending devices from the Treasury Department?
Yeah, we've never seen it.
We can't do this. We cannot do this. We need to get back to work.
Yeah, Yeah, that's what needs to happen. Is we just need to make sure that it, come what may, no pun intended, then in May we get back to work, as opposed to a July followed by a next November surge. What needs to happen for America to get back to work?
Well, the Democrats are always telling us we need to be like those socialist Nordic countries.
Yeah.
Well, over in Sweden right now, they're telling you if you're old, if you're in a high-risk segment of the population, you need to be mindful of your social distancing. Everyone else is told just to wash their hands. And if you were to look at what's going on in Sweden right now and compare that to Europe, they're living their lives. They're going out to eat. They're going out to restaurants. They're going to movies.
It's a very rural nation, that Sweden. Not having been there myself.
But you know what? Not every state or not every city is New York.
Yeah.
And that's what we're being asked to, some of these statistics that we're being asked to believe is as if we are all living in the same density and population as New York, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, well, and, you've got the scenario there where, the president has intimated he might reopen parts of the nation in sections, in quadrants or so, kind of piecemeal, that instead of, okay, everybody go to work, okay, New York, Massachusetts, the Northeast, Oregon to San Diego, you guys stay where you are, and the rest of us, let's go back to work. Would that be that?
Interesting enough, it's going to end up being all those places that don't go back to work are all going to be blue states, because that's where the high population concentration centers are.
Yeah.
So that should be an interesting discussion, and I'm sure the press is going to cry bloody murder when that happens.
Yeah, probably so. But in terms of reopening the nation, and do we look for a V-shaped recovery? Are things going to take off like gangbusters at the end of this?
Well, from your lips to God's ears.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. I don't think anyone's ever seen anything like this.
Yeah.
In regards to the money that's out there, we should be receiving our support check from the government shortly.
Right.
If you're earning less than, I think if you're married, you're earning less than $190,000 a year, your married couple should receive $2,400. And if you've got children, you receive $500 more per child. If you're a business owner, you should be on SBA.gov right now. You should be taking a look at the Paycheck Protection Program. There's all sorts of free money out there that they promise you if you use this money to pay your payroll,
right,
then it's going to be that loan is going to be forgiven.
What do you tell investors right now?
Well, there's a lot of people looking at out of favor segments. Obviously hospitality, the entertainment industry. I'm noticing on Netflix, everybody's at home watching Netflix now.
Right. So
I'm noticing that you're seeing more and more movies going straight to like Vudu, the Walmart company where you can buy new releases.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're doing simultaneous releases at both the theater and on direct download. So
really?
You're seeing more and more of that. You have to think that the airline industry, eventually that's going to come back. You have to take a look at, the cruise line. How many stories have there been about people trapped on cruise lines?
Right. How many investors are going to their wealth management people and saying, hey, I need to just get out of the market altogether?
Well, there are some people are doing that, and there's a lot of people who see opportunity here.
So they're buying.
We are emotional creatures, and there's a lot of people buying in various industry sectors. There's a lot of people very interested in oil and gas. I don't think we're going to stop using petroleum products anytime soon. I think once we get back up and moving, there's going to be a demand for gasoline.
Well, do you tell folks that they should be buying now, or buy in 2 weeks, or buy in 2 months?
Well, if you're, when I'm giving someone advice, it's always based upon whatever risk profile that particular person has. And typically when they want to buy right now because they want to make some money, they think the market's going to come back and they want to make some money. I explained to them, you don't only need to think about this 6 months from now, you need to think about this 6 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the prudent conversation that I've had with folks who are our clients.
What, meaning that the market could come back, but it could take 6 years to do so?
Well, I don't necessarily think that, but I think if you're looking at the market and you are buying here, you want to look at value plays. You want to look at something that is oversold, that you know that's going to be a good company. Their assets, their financials are solid. They're a solid business. They're going to weather the storm. Those are the companies that you want to look at.
Do you think tech is oversold as a sector? Technology?
Tech? Well, I think when everybody's not moving and most people are not buying those things, it probably is. Do I think it eventually will come back? Of course.
All right. Good advice for us. And it's a mess out there, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
All right, Kevin. Thanks for letting me play.
It's been interesting lately, this whole technology conversation thing, I'll tell you.
It is.
We'll talk to you soon.